So you're looking to get your own domain name for your website. Very exciting. So hopefully you have referred back to a video that I did previously about whether you should have a personal brand or a name brand and my decision to go from a personal brand into a name brand. I'm really excited to talk about getting a domain name because you want to make sure that people can actually type something in and find you, and you can control what that looks like, because that's probably the best way to actually feel legit and look legit. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video, so stay tuned. Hey Impact Maker, this is Kamila Gornia and welcome back to Heart Behind Hustle TV, where we help impact-driven entrepreneurs to grow and scale their businesses online through aligned marketing strategies that turn their brands into movements. So excited that you're here, and we're talking about creating your own domain name today. If you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, a domain name is basically what people are typing in to the search bar on the top of their browser to find your website. So that used to be KamilaGornia.com or HeartBehindHustle.com. So what is the .com or .biz or whatever that URL is that people are typing in to find your site? Now, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you need to have a website, especially if you're brand new. You actually don't need to have a website in order to succeed, and we'll talk about that in another video, probably in the future. All you really need is just to park your name as a domain name, and you can just have like one page site on there, even if it's a coming soon page, just to feel like you're legit, like you have your online business card out there and you can start getting out there and getting clients. If you are new and you don't have your own website quite yet, the simplest thing that you can do is go over to Bluehost, heartbehindhustle.com/Bluehost. I prefer that you go through that process because it's actually going to also give you a WordPress site, so you can get a WordPress install. If you're not really techie, it's basically what allows you to build your website in the future. Now again, you don't have to do that right now, so don't worry about it. But you would want to get your domain name through Bluehost because it will install this WordPress thing for you, and then you can actually create a coming soon page very easily right on there. Now, if you already have websites and you're kind of like, okay, well, I don't really need to have another WordPress install, you can use something like Namecheap.com. I just for your own website, especially if this is your first website, I highly recommend that you just go with Bluehost. It's going to be way easier. It will tell you different options that you can choose. If something is taken, you can choose something else, and kind of going from there. So the first thing that you're probably wondering is, okay, so what do I actually name this site? So this is going to be going back to, what is your brand name? What are you doing? And what are people typing in? I have a couple tips for you, and hopefully this is going to help you in coming up with your own domain name. And by the way, of course, if you need some extra support, some extra help, definitely make sure that you consider joining the Academy next time it's available. All right, so here are a few tips. Number one is to go with a .com domain whenever possible. .com is just what people are typically expecting when it comes to domain names. Anything other than that, like .biz or .net or .org, they're usually associated with different types of websites, like nonprofit, or edu is educational, like institution. Typically for corporations, for companies, for businesses, or just for blogs, .com is what people are usually going to be going for first. If you're creating a domain name for your course or something that's not going to be your main website, it's totally cool if you use something like .online or .biz or .star, like whatever. There's so many different whatevers, and that doesn't matter as much as long as it's not your main domain name. And the reason why this is important is, number two, you want your website domain to be memorable. You want someone to be able to remember what it is they're supposed to be typing if you don't give them your business card, or if you're just telling them kind of, you're meeting them and then you're telling them what it is. Like heartbehindhustle.com, pretty straightforward. My name, obviously a lot of people don't know how to spell my name, so that's a problem. But if they did, if they found me on Facebook or something like that, it's just KamilaGornia.com. Pretty straightforward. So make it memorable and don't make it too, clever or anything like that. Simple is always better, and making it aligned with your brand and your business name, even better. Another really important one is that you don't use any symbols, any extra symbols in the domain name. No underscores, no additional dots, no dashes, none of that. Honestly, it's going to be really hard for you to actually pronounce it out and for someone to remember that. And it just creates a lot of confusion. And I highly recommend that you don't use any numbers in the domain name. So saying something like food for less, which is actually a store, but like if I didn't know what food for less is, do I use the number 4? Do I type out the 4? Do I say FOR? What do I do? It just creates too much confusion, and you want people to be really easily able to get to your site to check you out. Another tip is, when in doubt, just use your name. Your name is probably not going to change, your first and last name, maybe middle name in there. And if you don't know what your brand name is, and maybe you're thinking you might change it in the future, you're probably going to want to park your actual name at some point anyways, right? If you want to become an author or a speaker or a coach or just be known for being you as well, you're gonna probably need to have a website or a domain name at least that is your name. If you have a pretty common name, it might be a little bit challenging for you to park that, and that's okay. So you can start testing different things, like maybe adding the middle initial, maybe adding the actual name, maybe saying something like the real your name. So let's see, Jane Doe, janedoe.com is taken. Are you gonna go with a janedoe.biz? I would encourage you not to. Instead, try something like the real Jane Doe, or Jane Doe is here, or Jane M. Doe, or janemarydoe.com, or whatever else makes sense for you. And lastly, please make sure that you don't purchase the domain name right away. Like you're like, okay, that sounds great, I'm just gonna go buy it. Please take a pause and read it in many different ways, because sometimes it might actually come off sounding a little bit inappropriate, totally not on purpose either. So like this, or this. Yeah, or that one. That's pretty sad for the guys, huh? So there you have it. Hopefully this is helpful in coming up with your own domain name. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm super excited to see your website when it's done. But for now, just a coming soon page. We'll talk all about that in Academy if you're a part of it. And you haven't grabbed the starter kit that I've created, all for expert businesses, literally how to set up your business with all the systems, all the things you need to know, make sure that you go into the description and grab your roadmap, your checklist, because it's gonna literally take you through everything you need to know, including this domain name thing, plus many other things to help you set up your business effectively so you can get out there, get clients right away, and stop being held back by, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know what I need to do first. Hopefully this is helpful. Look forward to hearing from you. Let me know in the comments what your domain name is so I can check you out and just so I know. And if you enjoy this video and you want more, make sure that you subscribe and enable notifications so you can be staying in tune about my future videos, which are coming up pretty much every week, sometimes even more than that. So, mwah, you are awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.